Hey Aquarius, welcome to your May 2021 general reading. This reading is general, so take what resonates and leave the rest behind. You may get a little, you may get a lot, you may get nothing at all. But be sure to check your sun, moon, rising, and midheaven. All right, so when I was getting ready to offer this reading, the song Girlfriend by NSYNC came up. And I was like, let me sit with that for a minute, because I hadn't thought about that song for a very long time. I remember it came out when I was obsessed with the Harry Potter computer games, but that's neither here nor there. Instead, it may have to do with someone not appreciating you, or you not appreciating someone, or recognizing someone who is there for you, who was like, ride or die, right? Just someone who's very trustworthy, reliable, and has been in your corner. So it's like, be aware of who's around, right? Who sticks around when you're feeling low or you're in need of something? Who is actually supporting you? It's time to sort through some of that and really get to like, okay, who or what is part of my foundation right now? So yeah, let's just get into it. I'm going to pull some oracle cards, some tarot, and we'll see what's going on throughout this month of May. Be sure to check back in for my mid-month check-in, because things might change based off the actions we take for the first half of the month, and we may be able to get into a little bit more detail about what's unfolding during those readings as well. So I am pulling some cards from my Swatches of Chakra deck, just to get us started. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, so we have spiritual awareness, sexual energy, and compassion. Sexual energy, all right. So anyways, I feel Aquarius, that there's something about, how do I put this? You recognize a certain general picture here, but I think in terms of the way that you interpret things, you have to get a little bit creative. You have to think outside the box. You have to challenge yourself a little bit and open your heart just a little bit more. You may have found any type of sadness or grief as a bit of irritation, or maybe there's someone around you who you feel like has a very grounded approach, but sometimes they could be a little too somber. And this could mean you. It's absolutely fluid in terms of how these readings go. But it's like, whatever it is just kind of like irritating you a little bit. But it's like sometimes the people that irritate us give us the most that we have to learn or to acknowledge about a situation. And sometimes that irritation is based off of, we may be a little too hard-headed and wanting things a specific type of way. Also, I'm getting the idea of like wanting to scratch an itch. It's like sometimes when we're told something, we want to go in the opposite direction and naturally rebel, right? Because it allows us to feel a sense of freedom. So there could be a fear of committing to something or recognizing something that you must commit to, and wanting to rebel against it, wanting to go in the opposite direction, right? With that like girlfriend song, it's like maybe like chasing after someone that's unavailable versus seeing who or what is already available and willing to, collaborate or co-create with you in some way, shape, or form to offer you something that you want and that you desire. At the bottom of the deck, we have personal power. So sometimes we end up putting ourselves into situations that reflect who we believe ourselves to be. So if we don't feel worthy of something, we're more likely to choose a situation that agrees with our sense of self-worth, right? That validates it. And that can sometimes be a negative validation, right? And other times it can be positive validation. But whatever it is, just make sure that, whoever you're choosing, whatever you're choosing, really stretches or challenges the ideas of like who you are and your confidence level and what you're deserving of, and you love yourself, right? How you love yourself. And because if you feel like you're not deserving of love, you will chase after those people that are more of a challenge when it comes to receiving love from them or receiving attention from them, because it's almost like we want to conquer, or we want that challenge to challenge, but when we're really needing to challenge ourselves to feel differently, right? So let me pull some tarot and see what else is going on here. Okay, whoa, these cards are being a little crazy. All right, let me pull one more. All right, that one just flew out. So we have the Six of Pentacles, we have the Emperor in reverse, and we have the Four of Swords in reverse, okay? So we could be giving to a person or a situation that leaves us feeling very disoriented or tired or drained, right? Again, I was talking about that conquering energy. Maybe you're giving something to someone who's generally unavailable, or maybe you're unavailable for someone who's actually giving what you need to you. And it's time to really get clear on where you're creating your own misfortune, where you're creating further emotional like dissonance or upset, you know, where you continue to perpetuate a feeling of discomfort because you were already uncomfortable, right? Because you're used to feeling that way. So like being kind of a victim to your own conditions or what you believe yourself to be, kind of like what I was talking about earlier, right? And so there's this lack of authority that you're having this month in terms of what you're allowing yourself to receive. And so I feel like for some of you, it could be contract renegotiations, being able to renegotiate something, being able to really kind of alter the terms of some type of relationship or work situation, what have you, but needing to have an honest conversation and allow the opportunity for things to work in your favor and to not just accept things as they are. And I feel like this opportunity is coming about naturally, but it's going to be up to you to speak up if it's not as direct as you would like it to be. There's something about a sense of directness that needs to come about. At the bottom, we have this Page of Pentacles. So whatever it is, it's like I feel like you anticipate unwelcome news in terms of your finances or your resources in some way. It's almost like you're anticipating some type of worst case scenario, and we cannot move in that way, Aquarius. We must be willing to show up and know that we are deserving of what we want and be willing to advocate for it, okay? Because I feel like you can turn that around if you just open up your heart to it. If you just, realize what would make you feel joyful or hopeful, or be able to continue the situation if you can choose to continue along with it, right? I also feel like for some of you there may be, for some of you, there may be someone that's just wanting to hold on to things as they are, and you're coming in and you're like, no, this has got to change, or vice versa. Like I said, it's fluid. So let's see what else we have going on here. I'm pulling some oracle cards. Oh, I'm loving these. All right, here we go. So we have Enterprise in the reverse, we have Generosity, and we have Riches. All right, Riches was also in the reverse, but that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing, okay? I just feel like with that Riches card, there are some things that you need to stop mulling over and just allow to happen. Whether it's an idea or something, or the things that you want that you need to have shift, can actually offer you greater success and abundance. Not all is lost, Aquarius, okay? But with this Enterprise and this Generosity card, I feel like, for some of you, there may be some underhanded dealings going on, something that may be going on behind your back, or something that you're unsure of. It could also indicate something that feels a little bit out of balance, right? And it's like you do not want to be subject to that fate. And so it's time for you to intervene. And it's like you have to give in order to get sometimes. You have to set up the container in order to fill it with what you want. And with this Generosity card, I sincerely feel like that is part of that negotiation of terms. And I feel like you may even get more than what you ask for if you do it in a way that is practical, pragmatic, and is really in line with what you do need in order to succeed, Aquarius, okay? And that can be in work or relationships of any kind. I also feel like someone may be offering you a bit of a break where you least expect it. You may realize that in some situations you haven't really been your best self, but I feel like someone is going to give you the benefit of the doubt here and offer you something that you need. And you may be kind of shy about taking it, or maybe there may be a sense of pride about taking it and accepting it from someone, but you got to allow yourself to do so. At the bottom of the deck, we have adaptability, which I feel like that's kind of what that tunes into, as well as going back to this Page of Pentacles in reverse. It's like there's something that you've got to just accept here, something that's being offered to you. And that's great. Just make sure that you get the details if there are any expectations or anything tied to whatever it is that's being offered to you. I feel like that could also be where some of those negotiations take place. And it could be someone just expressing what they need from you, right? Maybe, you know, you've overstepped a boundary or did something that didn't feel too great, and now you're becoming aware of it, whether they bring it to your attention or whether you already know it. But I feel like there's a conversation that happens that opens things up and gets things back almost to a fresh start of some sort. That could potentially help you through a difficult time. Not that I'm saying you're going to have a difficult time, but maybe what has felt like a difficult time, right? And so we have the Eight of Wands, we have the Moon card in reverse, and we have the Tower, okay? The Tower is also in the reverse. So I feel like maybe you're anticipating some really big changes, and that's making you a little bit fearful about approaching or having this conversation with someone. Maybe you're trying to get certain resources together in order for you to not have to worry about it, for you to continue to be independent and make certain choices, or not have to rely on someone or something. But I feel like it's just not happening fast enough, and it's for a purpose. It's so you can come together and again have that renegotiation, have that reconciliation, and be able to, it's like sometimes the universe puts us in difficult places because it doesn't like what we would have chosen if things were going as planned. And so at the bottom of the deck, it's so funny because we have the Devil card. So it's like, you know, kind of this deceptive energy that's actually a blessing in disguise. So if you're going through something that doesn't feel so good, it's honestly the universe protecting you from whatever decisions or options you would have gone for instead if you were in a different type of position, if you had something, you know, versus you not having something and then having to go through this pathway. So it's like, don't feel down about it. It's happening for a reason. It's a blessing in disguise, but just make sure that you have an open line of communication, that that both sides feel secure in the exchange, that, you know, all of the aspects of it are kind of talked out and aired out. I feel like something is being aired out here. And I feel like it's you being able to make different decisions that are actually really good for you and that actually help you feel much better about yourself and where you are, instead of having to work so hard to go a completely different route. So it's just a nice little adjustment period here, I feel like, in May. So be aware of that. I also feel like maybe something takes form towards the end of this week. I want to say around the 8th, give or take a few days, but that is when that Taurus new moon portal kind of opens up and we start to receive some of those energies. And that could be when you're receiving this offer, you know, this offer, this generous offer, or someone's, you know, kindness at this time. So just be willing to sit with that and to recognize what you need, to ask what they need in return, because sometimes people aren't good about expressing that. It's sometimes people want to give, but there's also something that they need to receive, because reciprocity is, you know, a law of the universe, right? Things are not so one-sided. Anyways, that is what I have for you, Aquarius. I hope that was helpful. Check back in for the mid-May check-in. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and check the description box below if you'd like to book a session with me at some point. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.